Alright guys, welcome back to another video in the Ascent series. Today we're going to be going over some things that you guys are probably not thinking about when you're dieting and trying to lose weight. Especially when it comes to cooking, there's a few things that you guys need to be paying attention to, and it's probably slowing your fat loss down if you're not paying attention to it. So that's what we're going to dive into in this video. We're going to start by talking about macros. So when it comes to diet, macros are super important. Partitioning your macros in a correct way, making sure that you're getting enough protein, enough carbs, and enough fat is going to be super helpful for you. One thing that you might not know is that fatty foods and fats are calorically dense. A gram of protein, a gram of carbs, and a gram of fat are not all going to be the same calorie equivalent. So they're not going to be, so fatty foods are going to be higher per gram in calories. So when you're eating your macros, you're going to see that protein, you're going to have way higher grams of protein and carbs than you do than fat. So for myself personally, if it's a training day, I'm eating about 2,500 calories, and that's going to look like 240 grams of protein, about 270 grams of carbs, and 50 grams of fat. For a non-training day, I'm going to decrease my carbs just a little bit because I don't need that those extra calories that I'm not burning from the workout. So what that's going to look like is about 2,400 calories with 240 grams of protein, 230 grams of carbs, and about 60 grams of fat. And so that you see that in those macros there, 240, 230, and then 60 grams of fat. The fat is way lower in the amount of grams that I'm eating in a total day, just because it's highly caloric dense. But one of the key factors with losing weight is you want to keep your protein up. A lot of people, if they get on a diet, they want to cut their calories. They're going to go below 2,000 calories a day, and they're not going to be getting the protein that they need. So if you ever go to the gym and you've felt flat, the pump is not that good, it's because you don't have a surplus of carbs that are at your body's disposal. So that's kind of the breakdown of, for myself, what I'm doing and how I'm partitioning my proteins, carbs, and fats. And so now we're going to kind of get into what that looks like on the plate, and we'll start doing some cooking, and hopefully this will help you guys. Let's get into it. All right, guys. So I've kind of partitioned off our macros here to kind of show you guys what those things look like. So for carbohydrates, we'll start here. We've got sourdough bread. We've got carb-balanced tortillas. We've got fruits, some berries, and then we've got orange juice. So if you're looking at this, the things that are going to be great for you when it comes to getting your carbs in is going to be like sourdough bread, fruits and berries, and then like potatoes and rice. I don't have those out here, but that's an example. Then you've got some of the more processed stuff. I got these because they're easy. So there's a little bit of a balance between getting things that are nutritionally beneficial to you, and then also things that are just like tortillas taste great in a burrito. Put some eggs in there. It's quick, it's easy, it's delicious. So again, the macros on this are going to be aligned because they're low carb with my diet. So this is be like a suboptimal option in your diet, but it's still good if it's going to keep you within your calories and your macros. Juice, another example that's like, it's not great. It's a quick source of carbs, but it's going to be highly concentrated. You could get a lot of calories from drinking 1 glass of orange juice versus eating an orange. So kind of quick examples here that are easy. You want to get your carbs in, go ahead and grab those. They're just not as optimal as eating a fruit, some sourdough bread, rice, and potatoes. Then coming over to the protein, kind of have a similar example here. So high protein foods are going to be like egg whites, chicken breasts, lean ground beef. And you've got the other end that's just more highly caloric dense because of the fat is whole eggs because of the egg yolk. And then same thing for like steak. You have New York steaks here. But these are pretty heavily marbled steaks, so there's going to be highly caloric dense because of the fat. So if you want lean options that's going to keep your calories down while keeping your protein up, these three are going to be great because of the leanness of them. There's not a lot of fat, whereas these two are going to be high in fats, high in calories. And then we've got some examples here of fats. So I'm a big fats guy. I love fats. I love healthy fats. I put heavy cream in my coffee every day. Heavy cream, though, highly caloric dense. For 1 tablespoon, you're getting 60 calories. And most people are going to be putting 2, 3, 4 tablespoons in their coffee throughout the day. I put it in my eggs too, so just a better consistency. But you can quickly add up your calories if you're using heavy cream. Same thing with butter, same thing with avocado oil, olive oil. It's a good healthy source of fat, but just a tablespoon is going to be a lot of calories. On the other end here, we've got cheese. This is fat-free mozzarella cheese. So it's not going to be the best tasting cheese, but it's still cheese, and it keeps me within my calorie count, keeps my macros where they need to be. Same thing, low-fat cottage cheese. I love cottage cheese with some raspberries, some fruit. It's delicious. Put it in a burrito with your eggs. I love it. But again, full-fat cottage cheese is going to be highly caloric dense. And so you guys probably are keen in here on some of the themes I'm talking about is fats. Fats aren't bad. A lot of people have said that. A lot of people believe that for a long time, but it's not true. Fats are good for your body. But when it comes to dieting, fats are going to be your enemy. You can put some extra dressing on your salad, and yes, you're eating a salad, but you're eating a 400, 500 calorie salad because of all the dressing. Same thing with protein. You could be eating steak, and yes, you're eating steak, you're getting a lot of protein. You're also getting a lot of fat, a lot of calories. So fat is not the enemy, but you do need to be careful, especially when you're dieting, that you're tracking it. Because if it's out of sight, it's out of mind, you're not going to be thinking about it. I'm just going to add a little avocado oil to my pan. I'm going to add some butter to my eggs. You're increasing your calories just like that, and you didn't even know it. So let's get into cooking. I'm going to give you guys some recipes on what I do and what it looks like, and then we'll plate it all up and show you guys what that looks like on a plate, and so you guys can kind of have an idea of what 50 grams of protein, 50 grams of carbs, and all those types of things look like on your plate. So let's get into it. One thing I did forget to mention when it comes to fats is avocados. Avocados are a great source of fat. Super healthy, unprocessed, delicious. Avocado toast, all the white girls know about that. But it's, again, highly caloric dense. You want some avocado toast, you're going to be sacrificing some calories for that. A lot of people throw cheese on that as well. More fat, more calories. Johnny doesn't like the idea of putting cheese in there. Feta cheese and like avocado, salt. Salt's fantastic, but yeah, throw some cheese in there, makes it even better. It's delicious, highly caloric dense. So again, just another option. I wanted to throw that in there because it is one of those foods. It's like I want to eat that. It's delicious, high calories when you're trying to diet and cut weight for whatever you want to do. So just want to let you guys know that real quick before we get into cooking. All right, guys, so the first meal that we're going to be cooking up is just some breakfast burritos. So we've got some egg whites, some eggs, tortillas, cheese, seasonings, and then just for reference, guys, this is 1 tablespoon of butter. And that's very little, but I could easily throw this in with my eggs, make them taste fantastic. I could probably double this amount of butter, actually, to make them taste fantastic, and that's 100 calories. So just for reference, like a little bit of butter goes a long ways when it comes to calories. So first, we're going to start with some egg whites. The calories on this is 3 tablespoons, so 46 grams is 25 calories and 5 grams of protein. We want to shoot for probably like, we'll shoot for 25 grams of protein. So that's going to be like about 200 grams of egg whites right there. So that's about 200 grams. It's about 25 grams of protein. And then we'll throw 2 eggs in there, 40 grams of protein between the eggs, the egg whites and the regular eggs. Let's get this stuff out of the way so you can guys kind of see what I'm doing over here. So I refuse to use like cooking spray. So this is where I do sacrifice a lot of my calories when it comes to oil. Just a little bit of avocado oil, not even a tablespoon there, just a little bit in the bottom of the pan. I'll use half a tablespoon of butter. So that's about 50 calories right there. So probably about, just with this right here, we're probably close to 100 calories just in cooking oil. So that's just a little note for you guys there. And then we'll put in the egg whites. Crack the eggs right in there. Usually I'll mix this all up in a bowl, but this is, for the sake of the video, the sake of time, we'll go a little bit faster here. Okay, so the trick with eggs is you guys want to go like medium medium-low heat, and then just continue stirring them. You want to make sure that they're... I'm a big egg guy. I love eggs, and so I've kind of mastered the technique of cooking eggs. Just so y'all know, I probably make some of the best eggs you'll ever taste. Get them all mixed up, and we'll let them sit for a sec as the pan continues to heat up. Oh, I totally forgot. I usually do heavy cream, but I'll add a little bit of milk instead, just because it's lower in calories, just to kind of give it a better texture, and then save on the calories there, rather than using heavy cream. But hack, if you want fantastic eggs, use heavy cream. Mix that milk in there. So right now in the pan, we're probably close to 40 grams of protein just with the eggs here. For seasonings, I love Jovany's. Jovany's is great. I use some black pepper and then paprika. If you can get smoked paprika, that's even better. But I'm a big fan of paprika. I put paprika on almost everything. You guys will see that in the other things that we cook today. But if you ever watch Gordon Ramsay cook some eggs, that's what I like to do. Copy his motion. Stir them up, and then you don't season them until they're start to harden up a little bit and start to get a little chunky. All right, the key thing here, guys, is patience. If you want to make good eggs, you have to be patient. Keep stirring them, keep moving them around. Don't let them sit in one spot and overcook. You want to keep moving them around, spreading that heat evenly throughout them. The thing is, you can cook good food on a diet. The one thing I hated was watching, bodybuilder videos where they're just like throwing a bunch of stuff together, and it looks disgusting and probably tastes disgusting. You can eat on a diet and still have good food if you do it well. And that's what I like to do. I like to take my time. I enjoy food, and if I'm eating less of it because I'm on a diet, I want to make sure that I do enjoy the food that I am eating. All right, guys, you can kind of see here, they're starting to get a little bit clumpy. They're still a little bit runny, but this is the perfect time to season them. It's going to keep that flavor in there without, before you overcook them a little bit. So, some Jovany's, seasoned generously. Some black pepper. And then some paprika. My favorite spice of all time. It works well with everything. You can get smoked paprika, it's even better. So there we go. And about right now, they're going to be getting close to done. So here's where I'll turn the heat to low, if not kill it. And you guys probably know this, but egg whites are not as good as whole eggs when it comes to flavor and texture and all that good stuff. High protein, low fat, but you're sacrificing on the flavor and texture a little bit. So that's about perfect right there. Those are looking good. What do you think, Johnny? Good? All right. So that's where we'll kill the heat right there, and we'll start assembling our burritos. With burritos, I do like to do a quick toast on the tortillas a little bit. I don't like eating just plain straight from the bag tortillas. So I'll throw these in the toaster for a second just to warm them up a little bit. Alright guys, so let's plate it up. Just heated up the tortillas a little bit. Gonna put some cheese on here. I don't really weigh out the cheese too much. I don't add too much cheese. But when it comes to the fat-free mozzarella, it's only 45 grams, 45 calories for a quarter cup, and that's probably a little less than a quarter cup there. And then just throw the eggs on there. Usually what I'll do, if I'm using like full carb tortillas, is I'll just do like one tortilla and then the rest, just eat the eggs separately, just to save on the carbs. But these are low carb, low calorie tortillas, so you could probably get a full. And you guys can do like Johnny brought this up. You can roll these up, and to get the burrito to stay together, if you want to like meal prep, you can actually put this back on the stove and seal these up. Another hack with these two guys is hot sauce. Hot sauce is your friend. Almost no calories, and then you have all the flavor. So excellent source there to kind of make your meals a little bit better. Like I was saying, I want to eat good food while I'm on a diet, especially because I'm eating less food. So there we have it. This will be a breakfast. I like to keep my breakfast low and calories just kind of light. So I've got some blackberries, raspberries, and then some the burritos there. We got this is about probably 40, 50 grams of protein, and we'll add all the calories and all the stuff in there too. But this is kind of what it looks like for me, my breakfast in the morning. All right, guys, so I preheated the oven to 400 degrees. That's preheating right now. So we're going to start prepping our chicken and potatoes. This is the next meal. We're going to do some chicken breast tenders and then some just potatoes. I've actually let these potatoes soak last night for like an hour. That actually helps if you want like a little bit more of a French fry flavor to them when they get crispy. And we'll just show you guys real quick how I prep it. Again, these are like, again, my favorite 3 seasonings. I just use Johnny's, black pepper, and paprika. This is like an absolute hack. I love this recipe for chicken. Chicken is obviously like notoriously just a plain kind of boring meal, but when I make it this way, I can eat it all day, multiple times a day. So what I'll do is I'll just take the chicken breast tenders, lay them in here. And again, this is where I kind of use a little bit of the avocado oil. I'll get my fat mostly from cooking oils, and try and keep most of my proteins pretty lean unless I'm eating steak. And then the thing about steak is you don't have to use any cooking oil because you can just use the fat from the steak, which is actually pretty nice. So just layer the chicken in here, and then we'll put the potatoes on the pan, just like that. Some people are going to complain that I touched the potatoes after I touch the chicken, which is like it's going in the oven. It's going to be cooking at 400 degrees. Nobody needs to stress about that. So then I'll take, for both of these, just put a little drizzle of avocado oil, using about like a tablespoon between both the potatoes and the chicken. I'll use some Johnny's over the top. Johnny's on the potatoes. That's the oven letting us know it is at 400 degrees. Use some black pepper. And this is like super easy too. Like this is one of my favorite meals because it's like I can throw it together in 20 minutes and then be, oh, I forgot to put pepper on there. Just be mad chilling after just 20 minutes. Already have a food. And this is like, you can make more of this so you can like meal prep it for the week. But this is kind of what I like to do. If you guys want to too, you could season both sides of the chicken. For the sake of the video and for some speed, I'm just going quick. You can also season the potatoes, put them in a bowl, put all the seasonings on top, and then toss them so they're all seasoned evenly, because I'm missing some of these here. But again, for the sake of the video, just going quick here. I like to season generously with paprika. It's like my favorite spice, like I said. The thing I forgot to was garlic powder. Garlic powder is something I love on when I'm cooking chicken and potatoes or other kind of like dinner foods. Garlic powder is great. So 400 degrees, air fry, let that come up. You're going to want to cook that for about 30 minutes. So the potatoes, 400 degrees in the air fryer for like 30 minutes. If you actually have an actual air fryer, it might be different for you. And then for the chicken breast tenders, chicken breast too, as long as they're smaller, I use like 16 minutes at 400 degrees or 18 minutes at 400 degrees. And those will cook pretty quick. So you're not going to have very long to wait on these. The potatoes take a little bit longer to cook if you want to get them crispy. So quick, easy, simple, and we'll throw these in the oven real quick and show you guys the finished product. Alright guys, the chicken is finishing up, the potatoes are finishing up, so we're just going to do a little bit of broccoli. This is super easy. I'll show you guys just for the sake of reference. I've been using avocado oil in everything I've used so far, but I want to show you guys just how much just a tablespoon of avocado oil is. So that's a tablespoon of avocado oil. And in the pan, it's hardly anything. It's barely anything. You could add a lot more avocado oil than that, and you're going to be at a ridiculous amount of calories. So, but just for the sake of video, I'm going to use that 1 tablespoon. I usually use quite a bit less than that, just because I don't want my broccoli to be too oily. But we'll let that heat up real quick, and then we're just going to do some broccoli, some simple seasonings. This, I just do salt and pepper. I don't usually put the paprika or the garlic powder on there. I just like to keep it nice and simple, just some Jovany's and some black pepper. And we'll saute those up and add those to the chicken and potatoes. Fry good there for the broccoli. We'll cook this for a little bit and then season it after they get a little bit softer. Another good thing to add with this though, if you want to take this to the next level, is Parmesan cheese. A little bit of Parmesan cheese on the broccoli. Fantastic, delicious. Let this cook up. We should have the full plate up here in a second. See you guys in a bit. One thing you guys have to do with these potatoes is make sure you mix them up a little bit. About halfway through the 30 minutes, just come in and make sure that they're evenly spaced, getting the crisp on all sides. Super important if you want that all-around crispiness and just like to make it taste good, because some of the smaller ones are going to get crispier than the others. So you just want to make sure that both sides are getting evenly fried up and crispy. And you just let it go for the other 12 minutes. Alright guys, so the chicken's done. We're going to pull that out of the oven real quick. We still got like 10 minutes on the potatoes, and we got to finish up this broccoli. But we'll take the chicken out. It'll keep cooking as it's out sitting here for a little bit. So we'll show you guys real quick for the camera. Perfectly cooked. I'll show you guys how it looks all plated up. But we're starting to get to the point where that one's still a little tough, but the smaller ones are getting a little bit softer. It's like almost to the point where we want to start seasoning them up. Slightly seasoned. We're not going to make it today, but like one of my favorite things to do, especially for like pre-workout, is just to get some chicken that I've cooked, just meal prepped, and then I'll take like a piece of sourdough bread and just put those two together. Like you can make a sandwich out of it, use like some low-calorie mayo or some mustard, and then you can either make a sandwich out of it or just have it separately. But that's super quick, super easy. You're getting the carbs from the sourdough, you're getting the protein from the chicken, and usually that's about like an hour and a half before I go work out. So that's like my pre-workout meal. Super quick, super easy. Slice up some sourdough bread, throw some chicken on a plate, and you're good to go. I also like fruit too, because I want like something fresh before I go to the gym. So I'll have like an apple or some berries with it as well. Kind of mix it up, get all the flavors in there. So, all right, guys, we'll plate this up here. I'm gonna grab the potatoes out of the air fryer real quick. All right, so we'll make kind of what I would want to eat in a meal for a lunch or something. So we'll throw the broccoli on because that really doesn't matter. There's like 0 calories in broccoli. It's mostly for the fiber. 3 ounces of broccoli. We'll zero it out, and we'll put like, I usually do like 3 or 4 ounces of potatoes. 4 ounces is about usually with enough where I'm eating enough potatoes that I'm like satiated, and I'm still staying within my calorie count. You can actually have quite a bit of potatoes especially when they're like this, just because they're light, fluffy. They're going to keep you full. Like, that's quite a bit of potatoes. We're only at 3.5 ounces. And then we'll do like 6 ounces of chicken. We'll get around 40 to 50 grams of protein with that. So we'll zero that out. And then if we go like right there, that's 6 ounces of chicken. So just for you guys to kind of see that there, you got your broccoli, potatoes, 3.5 ounces of potatoes, and 6 ounces of chicken. That is a pretty decent meal setup right there. And again, we'll add all the calories up for you guys to see what that looks like for macros and calories. So, all right, guys, for this last meal here, we're gonna do some ground beef and some rice. This is something I would probably have like a salad with, make like a little Caesar salad. Again, light on the dressing. But I've got some lean ground beef here. This is 93% lean. You could do 90, but the leaner the better here because you're going to be getting a lot more protein per the total calories. So for 4 ounces here, you got 140 calories and 24 grams of protein. So you could easily double that and be at just 300 calories and like 50 grams of protein. So that is ideal. So I'll just show you guys how I cook this up real quick. Again, very simple, same seasonings that I've used with every single one of these recipes. It's just very quick, very easy, and it tastes delicious. And with ground beef, you want to go low and slow. This is something you don't want to just blast at high heat for 20 minutes because you're going to get really tough ground beef. And you don't need to oil the pan if you don't want, if you want to save on the calories. The fat in this should be enough to get you a decent amount of oil in the bottom of the pan. Alright guys, beef in the pan.
What is your biggest mistake?
The biggest beef steak.
You just want to spread it out so it starts cooking evenly in the pan. Like I said, low and slow. You don't want to just blast this and overcook it. When I was a kid, my mom would make ground beef and then she would just like literally like leave it in the brick and just like let it sit there, like, and so the bottom would cook very well and then the top was not cooked, and then eventually she'd come around to mix it all up in the pan, but by that time you like half the ground beef is overcooked and then you still got to cook it more to cook the rest of it. So I did not like it that way because then by the time you plated it up with some rice, you're like eating some very chewy, dry ground beef. Which, especially when it's lean, you want to make sure when it's 90% or more lean ground beef, you want to make sure that you're cooking it nice and slow because it doesn't have all that fat in it to keep it moist. So we're going to keep it like medium-low heat and just let it sit for a bit. We'll season here in a little bit as it gets closer to being done. All right, guys, so we've still got a little pink in here. We're starting to shape up just a little bit. We're getting where we need to be. So now this is about the time. You still got some pink in there, but it's mostly done. You just start hitting it with the seasonings. Again, some Jovany's as usual. Some black pepper. Actually, probably went low-key too little on the Jovany's there. Sodium, a little hack. If you guys are dieting, like if you obviously don't go overboard with the salt, but salt will keep you satiated. Most of the time when you're having hunger cravings, when you're on a diet, it's because you're not eating enough salt with how little food you're eating. So paprika as well, and then we'll finish up with some garlic powder. Just basic seasonings here, guys. Super quick, super easy, but also delicious. So we'll let this finish up here and then we'll dish it up and I'll show you guys what the final product looks like. See you guys in a second. Alright guys, so we got like 4 ounces of white rice here. And then I like to take some cheese, put it right over the top of that. And then take some of the ground beef here. So there's some of the cheese, and then we'll take the ground beef You're going for 6 to 8 ounces here for around 40 to 50 grams of protein. So about 6.5 ounces of ground beef, and then cheese again. And then what I like to do to top this off is barbecue sauce. Just a little bit of barbecue sauce. This stuff for 2 tablespoons is 70 calories, so that is not bad at all. So you just put like, and you can get low-calorie barbecue sauce as well. So about 2 tablespoons there. Probably actually about 1, but a little bit of barbecue sauce, and that is the final product. Ground beef bowl with rice. Delicious, nutritious. Again, we'll put all of the macros on there and the calories. But this is like a standalone meal. I could eat this pre-workout. I could eat this for dinner. If I wanted to throw some veggies or fruit in there as well, I can. So that's the final product. And then we'll do one more meal. I'm going to make a protein shake for you guys and kind of show you how I do that with our Mount Athos Atlas protein. All right, guys. So this last recipe I'm going to be making for you guys is something you cannot make without this, our Atlas Whey protein. You can also use our Atlas regular Atlas protein, but you're not going to get this anywhere else. This is a great healthy protein. We're looking at 24 grams of protein per serving, so that's 2 heaping scoops. You can double that and get 48 grams of protein. So I'm going to show you guys what I do for my protein shakes, and we'll add all the calories like we did with the other meals. So we're going to start with ice. So just get a few ice cubes to help thicken up a little bit, and then we'll throw in half an orange. I don't have a lime, but I usually do a lime and a lemon. Just for the zest, the flavor is fantastic.
What?
And for the fruit smoothies that I make, I like to use the vanilla. If I'm making like a chocolate banana peanut butter, then I'll use the chocolate Atlas Whey or Atlas protein that we have. So there's a lemon, and then we'll throw in a little bit of apple here. We'll probably do like a quarter of an apple is probably good. And then we'll throw in some raspberries for color and flavor. This is like a very refreshing fruit smoothie. I like these a lot. So you see we're kind of filling up this just a little bit. I probably could have cut everything smaller to make it fit, but so what I'll do is I'll throw in the orange juice first, and then just a little bit more. What are we at? We're like 4 ounces, about 6 ounces. That's probably perfect actually. So we'll do that, and then we'll throw in some water. Yep, so we'll do like 10 ounces of water. And then put this on the blender, and then we'll throw in the protein powder right after. And blend it up again, and we should be, oh no! Just 32 grams, so 32 grams per serving. And if you want to double it, which is what we'll be doing, 64 grams of protein will get you 48 grams of protein total. Alright, so we're at 66 grams of protein powder, which is 48 grams of protein, and you're at 240 calories with that. So you just put that in there, drop this on top, and then we'll drop it on the blender. So that's the final product right there, nice and creamy. That's what you want. Nice color. I'll put it in a glass for you guys so you guys can see what it looks like all. Alright, that's fantastic. You guys can't tell me that doesn't look good. And because we're really bougie we'll do the glass straw. So that's a 50, well, if you drink the whole thing, 50 grams of protein smoothie. I can just drink this throughout the day, so I'll take it to work. It's perfect. I'll keep it in the fridge, and whenever I want, get my protein in. So, we'll drop all the calories for this entire thing on top of this here so you guys can see, and then obviously you guys know how to make it. So that's the final recipe for today. We'll get to wrapping this up. Alright guys, so that's it for this video. I've shown you guys 3 different types of meals and then a protein shake that you guys can put together. This is something that I eat every day. So I'm not just showing you guys random stuff. This is something that I eat every day, every week for my cut. Again, you will pop up all the nutrients for each meal, all the macros, all the calories for that. But you guys can see it's pretty easy, especially if you meal prep. Like a lot of times I'm doing this on a Saturday or Sunday, Monday night, beginning of the week, laying it all out, making all the food, making all the burritos, getting my hamburger and my chicken lined up in little pre-packed boxes so I can take it to work. And if you do that, you're gonna be able to eat consistently throughout the week and get your macros in and be like hitting the nutrients that you need for losing weight. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. Let me know if you guys like this video and if you have any ideas for future videos. I hope this was helpful. Hope you guys got some ideas from this and just kind of a baseline of what it would look like for you guys to eat healthy. So athosperform.com for our supplements. Go check out the protein. You can only make this smoothie if you buy this protein, okay? It will not be the same if you do not buy this protein. So go to athosperform.com, and thank you guys for watching this video. And as always, live the ascent.